Hey, what's up everybody? It is Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome back to Monster Energy Supercross 3, the official video game, where today I'm going to actually be talking to you guys through the real 2020 Salt Lake City 1 track that just got released this afternoon. I know I did a video earlier today. This is going to be a pretty late at night upload for me, but I did a video earlier today where I kind of talked about some track designs I would have hoped to see in Salt Lake City, because there's 7 rounds and they're going to have to change it up a little bit. Well, we at least know now what the first track will be, as they released the first round of Salt Lake City track map this afternoon. And so I put it together in game as fast as I could, and now here I am making a video for you people. So this track is, I don't want to say it's like really similar, but it does have like a little bit of a similar vibe to what they were actually going to do in Salt Lake City, minus going outside the stadium. The lanes are a little bit different in some spots, but this kind of section of the track over here is pretty similar, with the Supercross triple into a U-turn here into a set of whoops, and then it comes down here, U-turns back onto the start straight. You come flying down into turn number 1 again, and it's a big sweeper into a rhythm lane. That's exactly how it was going to be for the finale at Salt Lake City, the real one. Obviously now this is all changed up. But that rhythm lane is completely different from what they had normally or initially laid out, and then it was supposed to go out of the stadium, but now you can see they've clearly just turned it around here, and they come back the other way here. Turn around, a little triple into the finish line jump, and then you kind of go not really exactly right across the start straight. It's almost like diagonal, and I put a 105-degree corner after a 75-degree corner to kind of emphasize that. But then through the whoop, Supercross triple, pretty standard track. I would say that like this one is not really that far out there in terms of design. I think both of the rhythm sections are going to become fairly one-lined. I hope not, but like I can do a different line in here that like you can quad in and then triple here, and you've already seen me I think do the 2 rhythm sections, or the 2 rhythm lanes in this section here, which is you can double in, triple, and then you could either go over table or step on, step off, single out, or I went 3-3-4 last time by. So there's a couple options in this game, at least from the track that I made here. By the way, this is on the PC, and this is called Real SLC number 1-SYS on the PC. So REAL space SYS, or space SLC number 1 and then a dash and SYS. So if you were looking for it on the PC, you want to try it out for yourself, that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, compared to my designs, like, you know, this is fine. I think that they're going to do a good job with building this, and it's, I think, going to look pretty good in the end, and probably race okay for a returning track. Like, it's not my favorite track, but I wouldn't say it's like my least favorite. I think that, you know, at least it's got some rhythm lanes. You know, it is kind of curious, I guess, that there is only one Supercross triple on the track, because normally they try to put those Supercross triples on each side of the stadium and really give the fans something to look at. But obviously there's going to be no fans, so they don't really have to cater to that anymore. So I think, like, almost without exhausting the riders to no end, they could almost get away without having Supercross triples on this track. But I get why they have them, just so that the riders have a little bit of a break. They get up in the air, they can kind of let go of the bars for a second and rest their arms or hands or whatever. But anyway, yeah, this track design, very kind of just meh. Not my favorite, not my least favorite. I don't really want to use this entire video to kind of preview the second half of Supercross. I'm going to use a different video later this week, but I figure since I have the time here, it's like 6 minutes left on this, I can kind of talk about it a little bit. Everybody's on their way to Salt Lake City, or already is in Salt Lake City. That's how close we are to this thing. They all have to be in Salt Lake City and be tested by 10 a.m. Friday morning for COVID-19. Or else they are not racing. If they're not in Salt Lake City this Friday morning or earlier and have been tested for COVID-19 and given their results or whatever to Feld, they are not racing this Sunday. So that means a lot of riders are on their way right now, or already there, or what have you. I know that, you know, for us at Racer X, my boss Jason Wygant, he is hitting a plane tomorrow. I'm sure by the time you guys see this, it'll be today, because it's going up pretty late on Tuesday, but he'll be out there early as well, so he can get his testing done and be A-okayed for the event. And this is going to be a weird month, man. This is going to be so strange to try to follow the sport and like where riders are testing and training and stuff like that. And it seems like everybody's kind of like in one area, but not at the same time. So I know Steve Mathis is going to be doing some Pulp MX shows from their hotel room essentially, but they're not in the same hotel as like every other rider or anything like that. I'm sure there are some other riders in whatever hotel they're deciding to stay in, but it's probably not all the riders or anything crazy like that. So it's going to be weird. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing really just how this dynamic shakes down. Like, this is uncharted territory really for any type of racing these guys have ever done. Like, to have a random like 4-day break between races, that's not really something you see very often. You either have something like the Paris Bercy Supercross or Oz SX Open, which is, you know, back-to-back nights, so you can kind of fall into a quick groove and feel like you get the track and the environment down and all that stuff like that. But I don't know, man, a whole month in one stadium, one city, testing, training. This is going to be interesting. I really have no idea like what to think, who's going to have the momentum. I think you can make positive arguments for basically everybody that's coming back from this, except RJ Hampshire, because he has a torn ACL that he got fixed, so he's not going to be back racing. But like, you could say that in the 250 East class, which will be racing this Sunday, that Chase Sexton seemingly had the upper hand on almost everybody. I know Marchbanks won the last race, but he did so by basically just defending the entire race from Sexton, who was riding great as well. So I think Sexton was kind of the guy to beat in that class, and now it's almost a moot point. They are at the halfway mark of the season. Maybe Shane McElrath has a refresh button, comes out swinging. Maybe Jeremy Martin picks up the pace and he starts riding well to try to get back into this title fight. And maybe Garrett Marchbanks has all the momentum he still needs from that Daytona win and comes out swinging and starts winning races right off the bat again, and maybe he makes himself a title contender. That's what I mean. Like, this is not like, oh, we took a couple weeks off and we're back racing. Like, this was one of the longest hiatuses we've ever had in really Supercross and motocross ever. Like, this is almost as long, if not longer, than just about every off season that we have. So these guys were doing a lot of different things, vacationing, training for outdoors. In Sexton's case, he was riding a different bike because he's going to be riding an HRC Honda 450 outdoors. So he was testing with those guys a little bit and you know, not maybe spending enough time or as much time on his 250F. So again, just so many variables with this situation that it's going to be hard to pick a clear favorite. Obviously, everybody wants to talk about Tomac and Roczen and what's going to happen there, and I do too. I mean, this is going to be crazy. Like, I'd really like to save as much of discussion as I can for a video that I'm going to have come out a little bit later in the week here, so that you guys can, you know, have something going into the weekend to kind of divulge into a little bit with my videos. But I mean, again, positive and negatives for both. Roczen seems to start most series well and fade, so the fact that he has this big break and almost has a refresh button similar to McElrath, like I was talking about, I think that's huge for him. People are talking about, like, oh, altitude, and he's not going to fare well there, and he's already got weakened immune system and stuff like that. I think he is knowledgeable enough in athletic or fitness and athleticism and training and all this stuff that something like altitude and his immune system right now is not something that's going to pull him down. And even if you look back over history, he's actually been pretty good at Salt Lake City and Utah or Colorado type events. Like, he's won Thunder Valley several times. He finished on the box a couple times at Miller Motorsports Park. He even won the first 450 outdoor title of his career at Miller Motorsports Park in Utah, which I know is a little bit of a different elevation, but still, like, it's you know, it's Utah, it's in that area, it's that dirt, it's that style. And then on the flip side, Tomac has been, in the last couple of years, kind of lights out in Utah. Like, he's been probably the best rider in Rice-Eccles Stadium the last 5 years or so. But you also have to go back to 2013 when he and Roczen were battling for the championship in the 250 West region. And while Roczen missed the main event that night with just kind of like a boneheaded move on his part by crashing and electing to just sit out the rest of the heat race, get a terrible gate pick in the LCQ, and crash in the first corner. Well, Tomac honestly kind of like choked that night, not to be like snide about it, but he got a good start and fell back to 6th, and in the end, that's pretty much what cost him a shot at the championship when it went to Vegas, because Roczen still had enough points up on him to hold it all the way to the end. And, you know, looking back on that, if Eli just had finished on the box or won that main event, he would be a 2-time 250 Supercross champion, and Roczen would be a 0-time Supercross champion of any kind. But now they both have their lights or 250 class Supercross championships to their name, and now we're set to seemingly looks like have a battle royale between the both of them to figure out which of them is going to be the first 450 Supercross champion between the two of them. But you can't count out, like, Cooper Webb is not fully out of this thing yet. Like, he is 23 points behind Roczen, 26 points behind Tomac, so yes, a full race distance, but it just takes one. Like, he clicks off a couple wins. Eli and Kenny both have like a bad night, a bad race, whatever, finish halfway down the order or something like that, and Coop's right back in this thing, and now he's going to be fully healthy and rested from that back injury that he sustained at Arlington. Again, just so many variables, so many different things to talk about, but one thing we now do know for sure is what the racetrack is going to look like here in Salt Lake City for the opening round of the month of Salt Lake City. I got to come up with a good name for this, but round 11 of Supercross coming back this Sunday, and here's what the track is going to look like. Hope you guys enjoyed this little quick update video and a little bit of talk about the series and the track. As always, appreciate you guys stopping by and watching. And for Kellen here on Start Your Systems, I'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.